right, so like I said, usually when I got going down the road, probably about 5-6 minutes, the 450 started throwing some codes and beeping and going off. Reduced power, don't have no power at all. Yeah, I don't know about this thing. I call it a pile, but it's my pile. So I really love these trucks. They pull really good, but I just don't have no power. I've tried to put it to the floor and it just don't want to go. So there's probably more issues. Something could be fixed simply. It's probably a good thing is that tire is flat. I don't know what it is about that stair tire, but I've always had issues out of it every time I put something new on it. But anyway, we're gonna go grab the 250 and probably go ahead and deck that first. That way I can just back under it. But anyway, so the 250 is gonna be pulling. I like pulling with this one because it just handles everything better. It just, when I load on the trailer and stuff like that, it just holds better, holds the weight. This truck right here yanks it around versus that 250. I guess I just don't have the stance on it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and deck this real quick since it's nice and level, and then we'll air the airbags up to kind of help it up, and then we'll set it down with airbags. So let's get to it and we'll go ahead and head to a job. All right, so I wasn't able to make like a good intro or anything like that. I got here late because of the truck, the 450 having issues, turned around and hooked to the 250. So me and the customer, this is one of his houses, I think, or can't remember if he owns this or this is his dad's place. Well, he's got property over here, so we're fixing to have to drive over there. So I'm gonna flip this around and then get this going. But I got us a few snacks, got some water, I think. Can't remember what I do with it, but anyway, we're gonna do some tripod action because I know I'm slacking on doing tripod, but I can only do so much by myself. I'm gonna go ahead and unlock my truck because it likes to smash it or smack the trailer, and then it wants to set the alarm off. I found that out the hard way. All right, so let's head over there, and I'd like to get some AC rolling because it is hot today. Too hot. So once we get over there, I'll show you what we got going. So this used to be an old home place. You can kind of see we got some cinder blocks, but right here is a little trash pile right here behind this little hole here. So I'm gonna kind of clean up a little bit. And so there's a property line up that way, and it kind of goes over this way. There's a property marks right there. So we pretty much right along right here. There's a little stake right there, and there's a stake right up there. So they own this right here. all the way up here. So we're going to be taking all this little small brush out. Just try to be easy with everything. Try to mulch this stuff up. He's got a bunch of stuff that he's got I think a cousin that has a 311 Caterpillar coming up, and they're gonna start ripping some of these trees out, these bare ones, because his house is going right up here. So we're gonna have to like just come in and start pushing and leveling, cleaning. Oh, so there's a little bit of trash, but he come up here like when he could and started cleaning up some of the briars where he knew his dad put stuff, and cleaned it up for me. So like we got all this little brush here, and there's a big runoff that water runs down this way. So once he gets all this cleaned up, he's gonna set it up to where it's gonna come through a little tile and then comes out through here, so that way it'll start drying out for when he starts building the house. So but anyway, we got this little brush. We'll set the tripod up. I know we'll try to get some more tripod footage. So once I get some of the stuff cleaned up, I think his septic is on the other side of the hill over there, so we'll have to clean the spot out for him too as well. Let's see, yeah, like all this right here, little brush. So but this is for a great customer of mine, Kyle. Awesome dude, awesome family. They've let me do a lot of jobs. Some good chunk of my work was theirs. Spending several days out here mulching, and good chunk of money, so it's helped me get further along. So we're going to go ahead and push. I think this is right at an acre or under an acre, but once I start pushing this, it'll really open it up. So let's get to it. So we got, just in probably less than 30 minutes, I got this much done, which is pretty wet and thick. So every time I try to mulch something up, it just kept wadding up because it's so wet and damp. And I mean, this right here was the thickest part. There's some like blocks and stuff over once I get over that way, which that's like a little small little section. You can kind of see it's in that little corner, and the rest of it's thin. We got some down trees. I think you can just see like that little open right there. That's as far as what we're going. It's not deep, it's just long. So once we get up there, and he wants a little bit of a buffer for privacy and stuff like that. So but other than that, we got, with it being damp, I'm running stuff over and it's kind of packing it down. So but once I come up and hit this little corner, there's a fencing right in this corner too, so I've got to go on this backside, find it first, and then push my way in. And then I've got like all this little stuff. There's like a big, I don't know if there's a stump right here or something like that, but I hit it. Also a big old tree right here, which it should mulch. I mean, you can kind of see it's got fungus growing on it, but when I mulch it, it's up to dust. Some of it is, it's still alive, but we got like a bunch of stuff that fell over, stuff like this. See, like literally it's just this, that's all we got. So we got to push to that big tree up there. It's really not deep, it's not really that far, so we're just going to go ahead and keep it going. We'll get some inside footage, and then we'll get some tripod once we get like all this cleaned up, and I start over here, and that way I can put the camera up over here in this little dozer mound. So we'll just kind of come in and clean it up a little bit.